Watch this video until the very end because I'm revealing 15 effective strategies that will upgrade your vehicle's air conditioning into an extremely cold powerhouse. Does your vehicle's cooling system struggle to deliver comfortable temperatures during hot weather? Has the cooling performance declined compared to when you first purchased your automobile? Most vehicle owners remain unaware that restoring optimal cooling requires neither expensive repairs nor professional intervention. In fact, several solutions cost absolutely nothing to implement. Today, I'm unveiling 15 carefully guarded techniques that can significantly boost your air conditioning's cooling capacity. These represent genuine methods that automotive technicians rarely share because informed customers reduce their profit margins. By this video's conclusion, you'll experience chilling air output every time you activate your cooling system, matching factory-fresh vehicle performance. Furthermore, you'll avoid wasting $2,000 on common mistakes that plague most drivers regarding their air conditioning systems. Let's begin immediately with technique number 15. Cease directing air vents straight toward your face immediately. I understand the temptation when heat becomes unbearable and cold air seems like salvation. However, this approach fundamentally misses optimal music cooling strategy. When you aim vents directly at yourself, you create a tiny frozen zone for your face while your vehicle's remainder stays uncomfortably warm. The proper technique involves pointing side vents toward windows while directing center vents upward toward the ceiling. Basic physics dictates that cold air naturally descends, so allowing it to cascade downward creates superior circulation. This distributes cooled air throughout the entire cabin, instead of concentrating cooling in one small area. Additionally, you'll avoid the irritated skin that results from prolonged direct cold air exposure. Consider the physics involved here carefully. Blasting air directly creates a localized cold pocket while surrounding areas remain overheated. It resembles attempting to cool an entire house by standing beside a single fan. Instead of utilizing a comprehensive climate control system, the objective is achieving even temperature distribution throughout the space, not creating a personal Arctic bubble. This simple redirection can improve overall cabin cooling efficiency by up to 15%. You're working with natural airflow dynamics instead of fighting against music basic physics. Your passengers will appreciate the comfort and your cooling system won't overwork, compensating for poor air circulation patterns. Before redirecting those vents, you must understand the button that 90% of drivers completely overlook. Technique number 14 involves mastering the recirculation button. That small button displaying a looping arrow isn't merely decorative. It represents your air conditioning system's most powerful weapon. Most people make critical mistakes by either never using it or activating it at incorrect times. When entering your superheated vehicle initially, resist hitting recirculation immediately. You'll simply recycle 140 air like a heat-powered hamster will go nowhere. Instead, allow fresh outside air to flush superheated cabin air for the first 2 to 3 minutes. Then switch music to recirculation mode for maximum efficiency. Once you activate this setting, your cooling system stops drawing hot outside air and begins reusing already cooled cabin air. Scientific studies demonstrate this can increase air conditioning efficiency by up to 30%. That's equivalent to receiving a free performance upgrade without spending anything. Many people mistakenly believe recirculation makes air stale, but that's completely unfounded. Modern vehicles contain cabin filters maintaining air quality, and you won't suffocate from reusing cabin air temporarily. What you will accomplish is dropping cabin temperature faster than a lead weight falling. Real magic happens when combining this technique with proper timing. Master this approach and you'll notice the difference immediately in cooling performance. Your air conditioning reaches optimal cooling in half the usual time music, and fuel economy improves because the system works less fighting external heat. If you're finding value in these techniques, please hit that like button and subscribe while activating the notification bell. This tremendously helps share this essential information with other drivers who desperately need these solutions. Speaking of free upgrades, here's a $10 trick that automotive professionals prefer you never discover. Technique number 13 involves the windshield sunshade strategy. You know it costs less than dealing music with rage from entering a blazing hot vehicle. A windshield sunshade represents the answer. Seriously. This $10 piece of reflective material functions like protective sunscreen for your dashboard. Parking in direct sunlight can elevate cabin temperature to 140 or higher. A simple sunshade can reduce that by 20 to 40. This means your cooling system doesn't fight temperatures, resembling Mercury's surface just to make your vehicle breathable. Professional tip involves getting the reflective variety that resembles spacecraft materials. Your air conditioning will operate more efficiently. Your dashboard won't crack from heat damage. You music morph and you'll demonstrate automotive knowledge. The best aspect about sunshades is they work continuously even when you're absent from the vehicle. While others enter mobile ovens, you're stepping into a vehicle that's actually manageable temperature-wise. It's like employing a personal assistant working around the clock, maintaining vehicle comfort. Most people don't realize sunshades provide benefits beyond summer cooling. They prevent ultraviolet damage year-round, meaning your interior stays fresh and resale value remains. Hi, it's a $10 investment paying dividends in both comfort and financial value. What if you're already driving and your cooling feels weaker than broken promises? This next technique will revolutionize everything. Technique number 12 involves the heat evacuation method. Here's a free trick making your air conditioning work 40% music faster, requiring less time than checking social media notifications. Before even considering activating that cooling system, open all windows and doors for 30 to 60 seconds. Yes, every single one of them. The reason being your vehicle interior can reach 160. That's hot enough to literally bake cookies on your dashboard surface. Your struggling air conditioning music attempts cooling air hotter than desert valleys in midsummer. Give it a fighting chance by allowing superheated air to escape first. Even better strategy involves rolling down just the passenger window, then opening and closing your driver door like fanning a fire. The door acts like a giant pump, forcing out 2/3 of trapped heat within seconds. It appears unusual, but works like absolute magic. This technique relies on simple air displacement principles. Every time you close that door, you create pressure pushing hot air outward through the open window. It's far more effective than simply opening windows because you're actively moving air, instead of music waiting for natural drift. The best part is this works even while parked. You can cool your vehicle significantly before even starting the engine. Perform this for 30 seconds and you'll save your cooling system minutes of hard labor. It's like music giving your cooling system a head start in the race against oppressive heat. Now that you've mastered heat evacuation, let's discuss the most neglected component secretly sabotaging your cooling performance. Technique number 11 involves replacing that disgusting cabin air filter. Your cabin air filter represents the unsung hero of cold air conditioning, and it's probably dirtier than you can imagine. This component sits behind your glove compartment, looking like it hasn't seen daylight in years. A clogged filter can reduce air conditioning airflow by up to 30%. That's like attempting to breathe through thick fabric. Most manufacturers' music recommend replacement every 12,000 to 15,000 meters. However, if you live somewhere dusty or drive behind large trucks frequently, do it more often. The best part is it costs less than fancy coffee and takes 5 minutes to replace. Your air conditioning will transform from wheezing like an old dog to purring like a satisfied cat. Most people don't even know this filter exists until their cooling starts performing like it's powered by a broken wheel. By the time you notice reduced airflow, that filter has been choking your system for months. It's like attempting to breathe through dirty fabric while running a marathon. Here's what's truly happening behind the scenes. When that filter becomes clogged, your blower motor must work harder, pushing air through resistance. This not only reduces cooling effectiveness, but also shortens blower motor lifespan. Replace the filter regularly and you'll avoid both weak cooling and expensive motor replacements down the road. Technique number 10 involves the condenser cleaning trick. Your condenser sits at your vehicle's front like a bug magnet at a summer gathering. It's that radiator-looking component probably decorated with more deceased insects than a windshield after a long road trip. When bugs and debris clog your condenser, it cannot release heat properly. It's like attempting to cool down while wearing a winter coat in scorching heat. Cleaning the condenser with low-pressure water spray can improve cooling efficiency by up to 25%. Here's the proper procedure for accomplishing this safely. Let your vehicle cool down completely because nobody wants burns from hot metal. Then gently spray it down and brush away the insect cemetery. Your compressor will stop working over time, and you'll avoid that $1,200 replacement bill. The crazy aspect is most people wash their vehicles religiously, but never consider cleaning the condenser. It's like brushing your teeth, but never flossing. Between them, you're missing a crucial step, preventing major problems down the road. Make this part of your seasonal routine, especially if you live in areas with numerous flying insects or dusty conditions. A clean condenser doesn't just improve cooling performance, it also helps your air conditioning system last longer music by reducing workload on all components. Prevention beats expensive repairs every music single time, but here's something that'll astound you completely. There's a music method to make your cooling blow colder air without spending a single penny on cleaning supplies. Technique number 9 involves the counterintuitive fan speed secret. This one will challenge your assumptions completely after your vehicle cools down initially. Lower your fan speed setting. I know it sounds like telling someone to drive slower to arrive faster, but here's the scientific explanation. When air moves slower through the evaporator coil, it has more time to absorb cold music temperature. This can make the air feel 3 to 6 colder at the vents. It's like the difference between quickly gulping a cold beverage versus slowly sipping. One actually allows you to feel the temperature properly. Start with high fan speed to get things moving initially. Then dial it back to medium or low once you feel that initial chill. Your air conditioning isn't being lazy, it's being strategically efficient. Most people think more fan speed equals colder air music, but that's like thinking louder music sounds better. There's a sweet spot where efficiency meets comfort perfectly, and finding it makes the difference between mild cooling and absolutely freezing performance. The science is straightforward and simple to understand. Slower airflow means longer contact time with the cold evaporator coils. It's like the difference between speed reading and actually absorbing information deeply. Give the air music time to get properly chilled, and you'll feel the difference immediately. Now, let's discuss something that could be leaking away your cold air faster than rumors spread. Technique number 8 involves checking refrigerant to maximize cooling. Here's a carefully guarded secret worth knowing. Your air conditioning refrigerant doesn't have an expiration date. Vehicle refrigerant can last indefinitely in a perfect system. The problem is perfect systems only exist in engineering textbooks and fantasy scenarios. If refrigerant is 10 to 15% low, cooling efficiency can drop by up to 40%. That's like attempting to run a marathon with compromised lung capacity. You can obtain a recharge kit for music approximately $40 and perform it yourself instead of paying a shop $300 for identical service. Just ensure you get the correct refrigerant type. Unless you enjoy paying 20 times more for eco-friendly alternatives, your wallet definitely won't find sustainable. Here's what most people fail to understand about refrigerant. Refrigerant isn't like oil requiring regular changes on a schedule. In a perfect world, you'd never need adding refrigerant because it's a closed system. If you're constantly low on refrigerant, you have a leak somewhere requiring proper repair. But until you find and fix that leak, topping off refrigerant will restore your cooling performance temporarily. It's like applying a bandage to a cut for temporary relief. It's not the permanent solution, but it'll keep you comfortable while you figure out the real underlying problem. Just don't ignore the underlying issue, or you'll be recharging every few months indefinitely. Before adding refrigerant, Ensure you're not about to waste it all because of this next deadly mistake. Technique number 7 involves inspecting your serpentine belt. Your serpentine belt is like the drummer in a musical band. Nobody pays attention until it stops working, and then everything falls apart simultaneously. This belt connects your air conditioning compressor to your engine. If it's slipping, your compressor won't spin at the correct speed for optimal performance. Look for cracks, glazing, or that telltale squealing sound, meaning your belt is crying for help. A new belt costs under $65, but if it fails completely, you're looking at a $2,000 compressor replacement when the whole system overheats. Check it regularly, especially if you're driving a high-mileage vehicle. Trust me, your wallet will thank you more than lottery winners thank their lucky numbers. What makes this even more important is belt failure doesn't provide much warning. One day you're cruising with cold air conditioning. The next day your compressor isn't spinning, and you're wondering why your vehicle feels like a mobile greenhouse. Regular inspection takes 30 seconds, but can save thousands in repair costs. The serpentine belt also drives other critical components like your alternator and power steering pump. When it fails, you're not just losing air conditioning. You're looking at potential roadside breakdown scenarios. A little preventive maintenance goes a long way toward keeping you cool and mobile. Speaking of high-mileage vehicles, here's a problem that worsens with age and can transform your cooling into an expensive space heater. Technique number 6 involves making your air conditioning colder with proper inlet maintenance. The air conditioning inlet at your windshield's bottom is where your system breathes, and it's probably more clogged than you imagine. Leaves, dirt, and debris love accumulating there, and when they do, your airflow gets restricted significantly. Clearing a blocked inlet can improve cabin music cooling speed by up to 15%. Here's the unpleasant part many people discover. If moisture is trapped there, you've got yourself a 5-star mold resort. If your air conditioning smells like a gymnasium, spray some disinfectant into that inlet with the fan on low and windows down. The fan will pull it through the system and eliminate those bacterial squatters. The air conditioning inlet is basically your vehicle's nose. Like any nose, it can get stuffy and gross if you don't maintain it properly. Most people spend more time cleaning their actual nose than this critical component affecting every breath you take in your vehicle. What's really insidious about a blocked inlet is music. The problem develops gradually over time. You don't wake up one day with terrible airflow suddenly. It slowly deteriorates over months until you finally notice the degradation. By then, your air conditioning has been working overtime to compensate, wearing out components and wasting fuel unnecessarily. A quick cleaning can restore performance you didn't even realize you'd gradually lost. But what if I told you there's something even more important than cleaning the inlet? Something that could double your air conditioning's effectiveness with one simple habit change. Technique number 5 involves the mistake that most people make. I know fuel prices make you want to drive with windows down like you're in a classic movie. But here's why that's a terrible idea for your cooling system. Not using the air conditioning will cause seals to dry and leak, and the compressor could begin corroding because metal parts get idle and deteriorate. Run your air conditioning for at least a few minutes every week, even during winter months. Think of it as taking your cooling system to the gym regularly. Use it or lose it applies perfectly here. A few minutes of operation costs far less than replacing dried seals and corroded components. Your air conditioning is like a relationship in many ways. Ignore it too long and it'll cost you far more than just hurt feelings. The rubber seals in your air conditioning system need staying lubricated. The only way that happens is when refrigerant flows through them regularly. When you don't use the cooling system, these seals dry out and shrink, creating tiny gaps where refrigerant can escape. It's like letting a garden hose sit in the sun too long, where the rubber gets brittle and cracks. Running the air conditioning regularly also keeps the music compressor's internal parts lubricated and moving. Metal components that sit idle can develop corrosion, especially in humid climates. A few minutes of operation each week costs pennies in fuel, but can save hundreds or thousands in repairs. It's the automotive equivalent of use it or lose it philosophy now. Here's where we separate the air conditioning amateurs from the cooling professionals. Technique number 4 involves making music cooling blow twice as cold with the evaporator trick. The evaporator is your cooling system's heart, and it's probably dirtier than you can imagine. Dirt, dust, and mold accumulating music on the evaporator surface can hinder efficient heat exchange, making music your air conditioning work harder than necessary. You can use special evaporator cleaning foam that you spray through your cabin filter opening. Turn on the air conditioning, spray the foam, and watch it work its magic, cleaning everything. The foam will break down all the nasty buildup and drain out through the system's drain tube. This is like giving your air conditioning a luxurious spa day. It emerges refreshed, clean, and ready to blow Arctic air that would make polar animals jealous. The evaporator is where the real cooling magic happens, but it's also where nasty substances love accumulating. Moisture, dust, pollen, and even bacteria create a slimy film acting like insulation, preventing proper heat transfer. It's like attempting to cool down while wearing a wetsuit in hot weather. Professional cleaning foam is designed specifically for this job and nothing else. It breaks down biofilm, neutralizes odors, and sanitizes the entire evaporator surface thoroughly. The foam does the work while you wait, then drains away through the system's natural drainage. It's one of those satisfying maintenance tasks where you can actually see results and improved performance. But all the cleaning in the world won't help if you're making this next critical mistake that 99% of drivers get wrong. Technique number 3 involves the perfect temperature setting. Here's something that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about air conditioning operation. Setting your temperature anywhere except the absolute coldest setting actually makes your system work harder unnecessarily. In a typical air conditioning system, air is cooled to 38. If you set the temperature higher, you're forcing the system to reheat that cold air, which takes more effort and fuel. It's like cooking a meal and then freezing it immediately. Why waste the energy doing contradictory things? Set it to the coldest setting available, then adjust your fan speed for personal comfort needs. Your air conditioning will be more efficient, use less fuel, and blow colder air consistently. Sometimes the most counterintuitive approach is the correct one. This isn't just theory without basis. It's how automotive air conditioning systems are designed to operate optimally. The evaporator coil is engineered to produce maximum cooling at its designed operating temperature. When you set the temperature dial to anything warmer, you're literally telling the system to waste energy reheating perfectly good cold air. Think of it like ordering a perfectly cooked meal and then asking the chef to microwave it more, and doing the work that was already done correctly the first time. Trust your air conditioning system to do its job and control your comfort with fan speed. Instead of temperature settings, your fuel gauge and your comfort level will both thank you for this approach. We're getting into advanced tactics now that separate experts from average drivers. This next technique involves a method that can literally save you thousands in repair costs. Technique number 2 involves professional evaporator and system cleaning. Sometimes you need calling in the experts with specialized equipment. Professional air conditioning service can restore lost cooling capacity by 30 to 50% in some cases, by fixing issues you didn't even know existed. A professional can clean components you cannot reach with standard tools. Check for leaks with proper equipment and ensure your system runs at peak efficiency. They can also spot problems like failing compressor clutches or clogged expansion valves before they transform into wallet emptying disasters. Think of it as preventive medicine for your air conditioning system. A little money spent now saves considerable tears and cash later. What separates professional service from do-it-yourself? Maintenance is access to specialized equipment and expertise. Professionals can perform vacuum tests, checking for leaks, measure system pressures accurately, and identify problems that aren't obvious to casual observers. They can also perform deep cleaning procedures requiring system evacuation. The key is finding a reputable shop specializing in automotive air conditioning work, not just a general repair shop doing everything. Air conditioning systems are complex and experience matters when diagnosing problems and performing repairs correctly. A good air conditioning specialist can often restore your system to like new performance with targeted repairs and maintenance. And now the moment you've been anticipating. The number one technique that ties everything together and can transform your cooling from disappointment to polar paradise. Technique number one involves the window tinting method. This is the technique that keeps on giving benefits continuously. Professional window tints can block up to 60% of solar heat and over 99% of ultraviolet rays. That's like giving your vehicle built-in sunglasses working around the clock. Tinted vehicles stay 15 to 25 cooler when parked, which means your air conditioning doesn't fight solar radiation like battling the sun itself. Less strain on your system equals colder air, longer component life, and better fuel economy consistently. Make sure you follow local laws for tint percentages because getting pulled over defeats the purpose of staying cool. But done right, this is the single best long-term investment for air conditioning performance. That doesn't involve replacing your entire system. The beauty of window tinting is it's a one-time investment paying dividends for years continuously. Unlike cabin filters needing regular replacement or refrigerant that can leak out, quality tint just keeps working around the clock. It's like having a personal assistant never taking a day off and never asking for a raise. Modern tinting technology has advanced considerably from the purple bubbly tint jobs of the past. Ceramic and metallic films provide superior heat rejection without interfering with electronics or looking cheap. When done professionally, tinted windows can actually increase your vehicle's resale value while making every drive more comfortable. It's one of those rare upgrades, improving both function and form simultaneously. These 15 techniques represent the complete guide to maximizing your vehicle's air conditioning performance without breaking the bank or requiring professional expertise for most of them.